Hey y'all, happy Friday. I hope everybody is having a wonderful Friday. I am having an interesting Friday, or my Friday was interesting. So I'm a little bit under the weather. So we may not be on for too long tonight. Um but I did want to come on here and talk to you guys a little bit about DTF printers and the whole DTF printing process. And I hear myself in the background. I don't think I really like hearing myself in the background. So I'm gonna have to see. Hold on one second, y'all. And I have all these cords around me. Hope you guys will be able to see that fine. All right, so if this is your first time here, I'm Patrice, and this is Craftable Things. And you guys could totally see that. I'm gonna put this over here for now. All right. So this is Craftable Things, and we like to craft all of the things. We like to make everything. And so that's what we do here. If you enjoyed this video or find it useful or this live, please remember to like it and also subscribe to the channel. I do want to reiterate that this is a live and it's not a pre-recorded tutorial. So everything is happening in real time, and we have comments in the chat that we kind of interact with. And yeah, things don't always go right. So if you want to find a video that is perfectly lit, even my pre-recorded videos aren't perfectly laid out. But if you want to find a video that has less talking and straight to the point, definitely check out my pre-recorded content. But y'all, please let me know if you hear an echo. I'm going to try to make it through this live tonight. But I started feeling bad on Wednesday night, and I still went to work yesterday because we had testing, and I ended up having to leave early. I did go to urgent care to see what was wrong. It's not the C or the flu. It's just a virus. So I've been in bed. I've had the chills. I've had hot flashes. Like, it's been interesting, but I slept all day. I didn't go to work today, of course. And I just slept in bed all day, and I'm here with y'all tonight. I was able to get up and come in here with y'all and hang out for a little bit. So yeah, enough about that. Let's get into DTF printing. And I do want to thank you guys for being here. For all my members, thank you guys so much for being here and always supporting this channel. For my subscribers who aren't members, you guys are valuable too, and I love you guys. Thank you for supporting. Miss Gail is celebrating 2 years as a member. I hope y'all can hear that. Thank you, Miss Gail, for being a member for 2 long years. That is a long time. Thank you so much. All right, let's see. Let me say hey to a few of y'all before we get started. But we're going to be talking about DTF printing. I am going to show you guys the newest DTF printer that I've added to my collection. We'll talk about some of the other DTF printers that I've had. We'll talk about DTF transfers. I do have some wash updates here for you guys of some shirts, some of my shirts that I've had for a long time that I've washed, or short shirts that I wear a lot. So I did pull those out so that you guys could see how they've lasted. And yeah, that's what's on the agenda for tonight. But hey, Up Designs, welcome in. Hey, Miss Rosalind McElveen. Hey, Kevin. Hey, Victoria's Creations. I hope you feel better in the bushes. Relax. Hey, Miss Cheryl Green. Miss Gail. Again. Hey, girl. Hey, Miss Sandra. And if you guys see, I'll show you guys in a minute the shirt. Miss Sandra. You know what my question is, Miss Sandra. You know what my question is. I have not watched much TV today because I have been sleeping all day. I almost missing. I saw a little bit of Miss Linda unboxing her We Create. Very little because I fell right back to sleep. I saw some of Delanda's live today. She was making another journal with her cinch. And I saw that, and I didn't want. I saw it yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not going to work. I'll be, I'll be home, and so I can make it with her." But I literally slept through most of it, and then trying to think what else I missed. I missed quite a few things today, but it's all good. Miss Beverly Smith, hey Denise Lewis, hey Danny, hey Jennifer Ricci, hey Miss Merlinda, hey Miss Zelda Brown, hey Sharon. Sharon, did I be saying your name right? Is it Sharon or Sharon? Let me know. Hey Porgy, hey Dr. Johnson. All right, I'm just scrolling down, y'all. Hey Miss Darla, it's good to see you. Hey Mama Girl 31 and Evelyn Warner. Hey Fern and LaShawn and Mirror Bear and Dempsey Boo and Jessie and Anna. So let me show you what I made last night with Marilyn. So you'll know, like, I would probably be crocheting tonight, but I can't last. Like last night did me good last night. So I'll probably try to crochet something else. But I did see a big one, and Dim sent me a video earlier of a big one, but I saw it. I had seen that one already. I was wondering, like, what type of hooks what do you use with that for like a huge peep? So this is the peep that I made last night. If you guys did not see us over at Maryland's, last night we were at Making with Marilyn, and Marilyn wanted to make peeps. And in the description, if you are interested in making peeps, we crocheted this. So if you are interested in making a crocheted peep, she has the link to the video that we followed, and also a link to their website for if you're like me, I need the written directions, and so they do have them on their website, and it is a free pattern, so it's not like you have to go to Etsy and purchase it. Even if you had to go to Etsy and purchase it, I'm not saying I have a problem with that, because people take their time to create these things, or to create the files, or to create the patterns and that sort of thing. So if they do give it to us for free, we are grateful to them for that. And if they don't, we are still grateful to them for that, or even providing a pattern, having one available so that we can follow. But y'all, look how cute. So we were talking about using worsted. Thank you, Kristen, for that. Worsted yarn. But I might want to try it, but I think I prefer the plushy luxe velvety velour type of yarn for this. Like, I absolutely love it. I love my little peep. It needs a little nose though. I wish I would have had a nose there, but the pattern didn't call for a nose, and I really didn't plan to put a nose there. So, but I may actually make this again. It took me it took us like 3 hours, 3 or 4 hours to make this, and that's at the first try. So if I did it again, then maybe it would be quicker. But that's my little peep. So cute. So cute. Hey, Naomi. Hey, Kristen, Tracy, Creative Kim, Retired Crafter 22, done so. All right, y'all, I'm just scrolling all the way down. I'm so sorry. I'm scrolling down because I don't want to stay on for too long, honestly. Thank you, Greg. Hey, Greg. So this design is the design for the bling box for, what is this month? March, for the next bling box. This is the design for the next bling box. So it's a little weird how the butterfly is inside of the word Spring Vibes, but I love it. The colors for the bling box is going to be kind of similar to this, except the green is going to be a little lighter. It's going to be olivine. And then the inside of the butterfly is going to be, I think, Violet Volcano. I think that's what I've picked. So that's the plan. And the butterfly, the outline of the butterfly is going to be, I think it's Icy Crystal AB. That's what I think it is. I know that's what I use for this shirt. But that, yep. Thanks, Greg. Thank you, thank you. Hey, Naomi. Hey, Linda Tolbert. Miss Sonia. Thank you, guys. All right, we're going to get started. I can always try holding multiple strands together and use something like a 10 mm hook. How easy do you think that's going to be for a newbie? Kristen, if you think I could do it, I'll try it. I want a big one though. Hey Barb. Hey Nomi. Nomi, I got your email. I need to know a little bit of information. I don't have one, but I'm willing to talk to you about one. So I need to see what you wanted to do, what you wanted to say. Hey Diane. Hey Evie. All right, y'all. I'm scrolling all the way down because y'all know I can just keep saying hey to everybody. Thanks, y'all. All right, so we're gonna get started. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna talk about is DTF printing. What is DTF printing? There is a big craze about DTF printing right now. I see a lot of new companies coming out with their own DTF printers and a lot of people willing to jump into the DTF market. So what exactly is DTF? DTF is direct to film. It is different from sublimation because with direct to film, it's the ink, and we're going to do a demo. I'm going to try to do a demo. I'm going to try to make it through. That's why I kind of want to keep it going. So with the DTF printing, it prints on a film. So it prints on a film. The ink prints on a film, not a paper. So you know with sublimation, the ink soaks into your sublimation paper. And so you press it from there onto your polyester garments. Well, with DTF printing, it prints onto a slick film that has a little coating on it. The ink is still wet when it comes from off of the printer. Okay, now they've advanced technology and they've changed their ink. So now that it's not really runny. So you have it's not before 3-4 years ago when you were printing DTF, that ink would drip if it wasn't flat. So now they've worked on that a lot. So you don't get a lot of inks that do that, but it's still wet. So if you touch it, you're going to mess up your print. It prints on top of a film, and then once it prints on that film, you have to place adhesive powder on it. Okay, so there's like a powder that you have to coat the back of that ink with. Once you coat the back of the ink with that, then that little machine right there, that is the curing oven. Now, some people use their heat presses and other things to cure, right? But this is a DTF curing oven that I use. I also have the one that has the shaker and the oven attached. You can use that too. But if you're working in a small space, that particular contraption may be too much. This is, it's fairly small, and I'm going to show you the latest like desktop version. This is the first, I think, in my opinion, true desktop DTF printer that I've gotten. Okay, so that's what DTF. You cure your print with that coating on top. Once you cure it, the back is gonna look kind of a little glossy. It almost makes it a vinyl. And I know most people who get into DTF, they say, "Oh, okay, I'm tired of HTV. I'm tired of weeding." That's what you get from DTF. You don't have to weed anything, right? But it still turns into like a vinyl-like type of product. So just know that, and I know my blinkers are here. So just so that you have to treat DTF the same way you treat HTV when it comes to rhinestones. If you want to add rhinestones with DTF, you need to make sure that it's not overlapping. The stones aren't sitting on top of the DTF print because it's going to come off. And if you don't believe me, ask Evie. Okay? So let's see. I miss anything? No, I didn't. Hey, DP. Hey, Kelly Wyatt. Hey, Michelle H. Naomi. I keep them all over the place. So I have a thing over here, like a shelf over here that has several of my machines over here. My other DTF printer, the A3, usually sits over there in this corner, and then I have the other craft room, and then I have machines under here, and I also store machines at my friends' houses. Like, they get a chance to use them, and then when I need them, they quickly return them to me because they want them back. So they quickly return them to me so that I can do what I need to do with them, whether I'm making something for, like, if I have an order, or if I have, and I don't really take orders, but I do take them, but not like that. But if I have like a request from somebody to do something, then I'll get it, or I'll go to their house and use it and go about my business. They prefer it that way because they get a chance to use all my machines. So they like it. They like that setup. It works for them and it works for me. All right, so we talked a little bit about DTF. Another thing that we don't ever want to overlook with DTF, Greg, Greg, you're too far. Another thing that we don't want to overlook with DTF, and I didn't really harp on it much in the last video that I did when I unboxed the K8, is the safety of DTF. So there have been reports of people who have gotten certain illnesses, which they say that it was from DTF and the fumes. Now, if you have respiratory medical concerns or anything like that, I would totally say you need to be careful. You need to speak to a physician about doing DTF. But there's no but about that. You need to talk to them about that. However, if you're like, you know what, I'm fine, I'm going to stick with DTF, there are a few things that you really do need. I would make sure I have like a purifier in my room, an air purifier in my room. DTF, the printing is not the problem. The ink is not the issue. The powder that I showed you, that's the point of concern, okay? Small particles, remember, this is adhesive. It's adhesive, right? So you don't necessarily want to breathe too much of that in. So I would recommend having, especially when you're powdering, have gloves. You can have a respirator or mask. Do things that I generally have, especially if I'm going to be doing a lot of DTF printing. Now, do I use this all the time? No, I forget sometimes, and I'm like, oh, let me go get my gloves. But you want to make sure that you do this because you don't want to cause any problems just because you want to print something out, right? You don't want to have, issues, unnecessary issues because of that. Oh. All right. So we talked a little bit about safety, but you definitely want to, make sure you're safe. This curing oven has an air filter attached to it, like an air filter contraption, and they have small filters that you can place inside of it. So I'm testing this one out. The other one did not have, the other one that I had that was similar to this did not have it. The oven, the shaker and oven combo that I have does not have something like that. So I do see where these companies are moving forward and trying to make sure that everybody feels comfortable using their printers with this powder. Okay, it's the powders that's the issue. Yes, so we're going to talk, I think that's actually next, Naomi. That's actually next. Yes, you need to wear the mask, definitely. Yep, you definitely have to. So Naomi touched on something which is actually next on my list, is DTF versus transfers. Okay, now is a DTF printer for you, right? We'll talk a little bit more about DTF. I want to just let you guys know that I don't consider myself a DTF expert. I'm just going to get a little comfortable. I'm sorry. I don't consider myself a DTF expert. However, I have been doing DTF printing for a little over 3 years now. Okay. And I love DTF printing. The printers, and I'm going to say this as nicely as possible. If you are not computer or just machinery tech savvy, if you're not a natural problem solver, if you rely on other people to come fix your problems for you, don't get a DTF printer. Don't get one because you're going to waste your money. With DTF printing, you have to know how to troubleshoot your own issues. That doesn't mean you can't send me an email asking me how to fix your printer or how to do this with your printer, because I'm not going to respond to that. I don't work for the company. I know some of y'all think that we work for these companies when we do a lot of these videos are just me showing machines, but I don't work for them. You have to know how to troubleshoot and fix your machines. And some of that is going to come with staying up all night talking to people who may not be in America. Some of that is going to be being frustrated, but you have to know how to work your machines. I don't have the capacity to help everybody fix their DTF printers because I got to fix my own. So I want to be very, very clear because I see a lot of people run and get things and jump and get things because they see that we have it. But you have to know that like the setup of a DTF printer, except this last one, which I'm still a little shook about, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of just like basic computer skills. So I would not recommend getting one if you don't have that. And for those of you who don't have that, that's perfectly fine. I'm not on here to sell y'all a DTF printer. I just want you to know that. But for those of you who want DTF transfers and you don't want the hassle of having a DTF printer or learning a DTF printer, knowing how to troubleshoot, knowing what you need to do, they have DTF transfers. And so the DTF transfers are really good. And another thing that I do have to say now, so with the DTF, my first DTF printer was an Epson 8550. And guess what? I say DTF printer loosely because that's really not a DTF printer. It's not a DTF printer. So I got the 8550. That was over 3 years ago that I got the 8550 to convert into DTF printing. There were a few reasons why I got that specific printer is because it has 6 ink tanks and I could use those ink tanks for the 2 whites, the black, the red, the magenta, the cyan, and the yellow. That's why I got those. I got that one, right? And also I had seen like at that time I was watching Big Boy Prince. He was doing a lot of DTF printing. And so I was just trying to find a printer that I could convert because believe it or not, 3.5 years ago, DTF printing was really only being done commercially. And around that time, 3.5, 4 years ago is when it started kind of making a scene on social media. Okay, it started making a scene where people were using DTF printing in their warehouses, in their small warehouses, in their small businesses, their garages, and things like that. So at that time, the 8550 was really the only option for me. There were other printers, but at that time, people were purchasing like large Epson printers and converting it. And if you want to know somebody who did that, that was Evie. Evie had a large Epson DTF printer that she converted or it was converted into DTF. Okay, so at that time, the 8550 was okay. Did that take a lot of work to convert it? It took a lot of work. Would I recommend anybody getting an 8550 now? And I get that question a lot because so many people have the 8550 now. Like a lot of people have it. A lot of people have started these 8550 groups and things like that. No, I don't. I don't recommend getting the 8550 for DTF printing, especially now because there's way more options. At that time, there were not many options for DTF printers. There weren't any DTF printers on Amazon. You might get a DTF printer if you would have gone through like Alibaba and got one of those. There wasn't much support back then. But now there are just way too many companies selling DTF printers, and the prices of DTF printers have gone down. It's gone down. And so Evie said that she converted it and now she wished that she had it. So that's going to lead me to say this. Now, my 8550, it did me good for while I had it, right? It was fine while I had it. I don't even want to waste my time because guess what? With the 8550, this is what you're going to need to know. So the 8550 is about $800, I think. I think it's still about the same. I have a brand new 8550 that's right here too. So it's about $800. Then you're going to have to pay for the sys system because now, because of printers like the 8550, a lot of these companies have created parts that you can add onto your machine to try to keep that ink flowing. So you can do an 80, you can buy all the extra parts that you have to buy for that 8550. Okay, you can do that. That's all going to add up. By the end of it, you're going to end up paying, and then also the RIP software. So the RIP software, you're going to be paying $500 to $800 for RIP software. RIP software is what you need to print your designs using a DTF printer. And it's pretty much your printer, your computers aren't really set up for printing white. So you need that RIP software. It's not a design software. It's just a portal for you to be able to print your images. And that's what the RIP software, and yes, you need it. So with the 8550, you're going to spend a few more $100 for the software. And I'm telling you guys this, I'm not telling you guys this, telling you all something that I think that might, that this is what I went through with the 8550. Okay. So if you're going to do DTF printing, I'm not going to say that the printer I'm going to show y'all tonight is the best printer, which I really think that is pretty good, even compared to the other printers that I've used for DTF. But the prices, check around for the pricing. Check around for the pricing. The 8550 may not be like, if you got to spend an extra $600-700 on an actual DTF printer as opposed to the 8550, I would totally do that. Because some of these printers do come with warranties. So I know the Pro Color printer, I think, comes with like a year warranty. They come in, y'all, if you looked at the video that I did the unboxing, I don't know how the other companies have their setup, the newer companies, because I do like this. Pro Color was doing this before everybody else started now trying to come out with their DTF printers. But Pro Color now sends extra ink cartridges. They send extra parts for the machines. They send an extra, they even sent me an extra thing for like the waste, for the circulation. So they sent me an extra like contraption. I only know that because I've taken their printers apart. So they sent me extra, they sent extra of everything. Okay. So you get, if you, and honestly, if something's wrong and it's their fault, from what I've experienced, they will try to make do and make it right. Okay, let me see if I had any questions before we move on, because we talked about DTF, but we didn't talk about transfer. So DTF printing, another thing I needed to make sure I say, getting a DTF printer does not mean that you should start a transfer company. Getting one DTF printer does not mean that you should start a transfer company. The printer that I'm going to show you guys tonight, you should not start a transfer company with that printer. Okay, learn the printer first. I see people get a printer and they automatically want to dive into, oh, I'm going to make transfers. If you have, and I've said this before, if you have one DTF printer, you don't have enough to make transfers. Even if you have, like I have the 13-inch, I have the 13-inch A3 Pro printer that does print a lot faster. It has the shaker and everything, but that's not, I saw those Evie too, but that doesn't mean that you need to start a transfer business. If you don't know how you should package those prints when you send them out, if you don't know any of that stuff, don't do it. If you don't have a backup printer, you definitely don't want to do it. The transfer industry is pretty big right now because, of course, it's easier to get transfers than to have your own printer, right? But if your printer goes down and you don't have a backup printer, you're going to have very unhappy customers. And then now your business that you think you started, now it's no good because you can't fulfill those orders. And then when you have a printer that's a little bit slower, remember with DTF printing, you're able to print white. So it's 2 passes that it's going to take. It's going to lay the color down, and then it's going to lay a white layer on top of that. That does take time. So how much time are you going to have with a slower printer? So that's another thing that you need to consider. Like, I've gone to the place where I get my transfers from. I do have a link listed below, Florida DTF, and I've gone there and I've seen how they operate. They have massive DTF printers, and they're constantly going. Okay, so if you get one printer, that can't be the reason why you're getting one printer. Now, if you're getting an industrial type of printer and you're going to have multiple, then that's different, you know. But with one printer, I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it at all. But transfers come in handy, especially when you have bulk orders, when you have to place a lot of, let's say if you get a order for 30, 40 shirts, I'm going to put in for transfers. Now, at one time before I started getting the transfers, I would just print it with my Pro printer, the A3 printer, and just have those printing out. But I find that with my transfers, when I just, it's less time that I'm wasting fixing the film and the printer, doing all that stuff, or I could just go ahead, have the transfers printed out, and they're ready for me pretty much the same day, as opposed to it taking me all day to print the transfers. So I do like the transfers. If you don't have a printer, like I said earlier, DTF printers may not be for you, and it's okay. You don't have to have all the machines, but you can still get the transfers and still make shirts. You can sell your shirts with the transfers. You can do all of that. But you won't have to worry about a DTF printer. You won't have to worry about the maintenance. You won't have to worry about buying ink and all that stuff. Okay? The next thing we're going to talk about before we actually look at the printer, and I was going to talk about, well, we kind of already talked a little bit about the 8550, and do I recommend getting that now for DTF printing? No. When I did it, y'all, that was over 3 years ago, and I'm gonna keep saying that. That was over 3 years ago. When I did it, there weren't DTF printers like that for sale. There weren't. So I wanted to do it, and so I was willing to buy an $800 printer and take it apart and convert it into DTF. And that one did have to be converted into DTF, and I was willing to do that. But would I recommend somebody who does not really have that type of energy to do it? And even if you do have that energy to do it, I don't recommend it. I won't ever convert an 8550 to DTF again. I won't. I might do it into, like, if there's another type of print method, I may do that. But because I have other options, and I think better options, I'm going to go ahead and just stick with my better options. All right, let's see if I missed anything else. Thank you, Fern. Good. Yep, I'm missing some good comments. I'm missing good comments. Yeah, I don't recommend it. Shonda, how did I order? I'm so far behind the chat. I didn't see it. How did I order with the printer? With this K8 printer? So most of you have been around here. You guys know that I work a lot with Pro Colored, and I'm very honest when it comes to how I feel about certain things with Pro Colored and DTF printing. I love Pro Colored as a whole. As a company, I love them as a whole. I don't like the fact that they have been in the US market for about 2.5 years. About 2.5 years. They've been really heavily marketing the US audience. However, they don't have a true dedicated US customer support line. They do have a US warehouse now in Cali. And then they also have some people now who work on DTF printers in the States, but they're very few and far in between. So that's my only issue with ProCut. Now, will they help you in the middle of the night? They will. Can you get some support? Yes. And a lot of times I see people complaining about problems. That's their problems because they don't know what they're doing. And that's the part where it's just like a little bit disheartening. And it's like, okay, I don't want anybody jumping into like DTF or anything and you don't know what you're getting into. Okay. Can it run smoothly? It certainly can. If it's going to run smoothly, if you're willing to put in the work, that means you're going to have to do a print head cleaning. Okay. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to get your hands dirty sometimes working with DTF ink. Okay. Working with your printers. Pressing a button on your machine daily so that it can do a print head cleaning. You'll have to remember that, or at least every other day. Okay, those are things that you have to remember. If you're not willing to do that, and it's not maybe that you're not willing to, you may not have the time. You have to have some time to deal with DTF printers. You have to. So last year I was a little bit sick and I could not work on my printer, my A3, the Pro printer that I had. And I didn't touch that printer for months, maybe 2 or 3 months. Guess what? The printer was clogged. Was that my fault or the company's fault? Well, it was my fault. It wasn't the company's fault because the printer was printing just fine before that. It's my fault because, one, getting into DTF, I know that the white ink clogs. And I know that you have to run your print head cleanings. And I didn't have a backup plan for if something did happen, if I had to go out of town. See, I had been out of town for a week, 2 weeks, and came back and was able to get it back up and running. But a few months, that was just way too long. So of course I had ink clogged up in my lines and it could not push out. Because that ink, if you guys have seen before, I've shown it, the ink like turns into rubber. The white ink literally turns into rubber and it's not going anywhere. It almost like it's like suctioned into the tube. So you have to do all types of things. I had to take my whole printer apart, y'all. I had to take it apart, take the tubes apart, install new. First, I tried to flush out the lines, and I was able to get those long strings out. Y'all saw it, but that wasn't anybody's fault or problem except my own. So I would also recommend, if you can, find a local. There are people who work on printers, DTF printers, in almost all markets. Find them, and you can do that. Like I was talking to my transfer company, and hold on, y'all, gotta get some water. I was talking to my transfer company, and something went wrong with their machine. They had to pay $2,000 to get somebody to come over from China to fix it for them. So DTF, if you're going to get into it, can it be very profitable and lucrative? It certainly can. But can it be a lot of work and expenses? Absolutely. Absolutely. It certainly can. Yep. All right, let me scroll down. Yes, thank you. And this is coming from Barb. Barb has DTF printers. And you do have to babysit the no matter how many times people tell you, all these companies are going to tell you, oh, new circulation system, new this, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to. That ink didn't change. The ink did not change. The ink is the ink is the ink. Because the circulation system and all that isn't the problem. The problem is the ink. So yes, you will have to babysit the DTF printer. You will. You will. Thanks for that, Barb. Okay. Lakeisha said she purchased one from China or eBay and it was a total waste. You have to be very careful. You have to be very careful. Yep. Yep. Everybody has their own opinion for DTF printers based off of their own personal experience. I just won't say get the 8550. You have to keep it turned on. Exactly. So that's another thing you do have to keep. So my printer, I need to keep my printer turned on. It does do the automatic waste or print head cleaning, but I still have to do a print head cleaning daily. Like, and I just do it. I go and I press the little button. I'll show you guys that in a second. I press the little button to get that circulated, and then I go about my business. We'll do a cleaning today, just so you guys can see it. Yes. See, and these printers are expensive. Hey, Robin S. Creations by Ashanti and Marlise. These printers are very expensive. Now, they have gone down some in pricing, but they're expensive overall. So, you know. So I want to show you guys some shirts because I always get, and y'all know how I feel about wash updates, but I always get a lot of questions about, oh, well, how long do DTF printers last? And blah, 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 blah. Not DTF prints last. And those are valid concerns and questions. So I'm going to show you guys one of my older shirts. So this shirt, I did this shirt maybe 2022. And this was with the 8550. Okay. So this is a shirt with the 8550, and I wear this shirt often. It still looks very, very good. I wear this often. It's gotten washed tons of times, and it still feels nice. It still feels good. Nothing has lifted up. And I love this shirt. So this shirt has been washed over 25 times, and it's about 3 years old. Hold on, let's see. This was my friend. Lisa White, I'm not sure. So Lisa's saying that she has a Pro Color printer. Why do I get spots on my prints after my prints set for a few days? Is it the Pro Color ink or the powder? Are you powdering it right away and then you're curing it? Because I know that sometimes but see, you say that it happens a few days after. If you powder and print, if you print and powder, usually that doesn't, and you over cure it. I have seen that happen, where it starts to kind of burn, the print transfer starts to burn a little bit. So let me know. So loves personalization design. I will convert Epson stylus. I love my Epson stylus. It's an older version. I spent just as much on both. Yeah. Awesome. I love my DTF printers too overall. Looks great. I'm sure there's maintenance to that printer. So Greg said the new X-Tool printer looks great, but he's sure there's a maintenance. Oh, he looks great, but I'm sure there's maintenance to that printer. Yes, and it's 6K with the full pack. Listen, there's going to be maintenance on all DTF printers. There's going to be maintenance on all DTF printers. Okay, on all DTF printers. So I want you guys to know that before you get into buying a DTF printer because it is costly. So there's going to be maintenance. When these companies tell you, oh, you won't have to do it, do not believe that. I'm just gonna let y'all know, do not believe that there is going to be no maintenance. You're going to have to no maintenance. You're going to have to know how to take certain things apart in the printer. And that's not, you're gonna have to be able to push through that and not be discouraged and not be scared to take your printers apart. Because if you have to fix something, that's usually what happens. Okay, so there's always going to be maintenance. Yes, and so Greg made up that you will need to change your print heads, not just with the Exo, but in general. There will be times where you will have to change your print head. There will be times when you have to change your print head out. Awesome Fern. Let's see. All right, so the next thing we're gonna look at, I was gonna make a patch for my varsity jacket using a DTF print, but that might be another day. That may be another day. All right, so this is another shirt that this is another shirt that I wear all the time, very often to work. And it's just a little wrinkled, and I've had this shirt for like a year and I've worn it quite a few times. This one, and then I have this one that I wear too often. It's just the Best Buddy shirt. And look at the ink. The ink still looks really, really good and vibrant in this shirt. Looks very, very vibrant. And then this one too. So these are all shirts that have been worn quite a bit. Quite a bit. All right, so we talked about wash updates. So DTF does last. Now, that doesn't just mean the ones that I've printed. These are all prints that I printed on my DTF printers. But if you get transfers, they should last the same way. If you have a DTF transfer that you use and it does not last within those first few washes, I would contact that transfer company and let them know that it's not, if y'all, something's wrong with y'all ink and y'all printers or the transfer process. So I would talk to them about that. Now, I think I finally got to just for us to show this because I don't want to be on here for too long. So I am going to put the camera over to the printer that I'm going to show you guys. And this is the latest printer from ProColor. They have a K13. This is the K8, which is the A4 version. So it prints about 8 inches wide, but you can print continuously long. And then they have the K13, which prints 13 inches wide. Those are both on their Kickstarter site. I do have a link listed below if you want to read and check it out. I'm not telling you how to get this ProColor printer. I'm just going to show you guys the whole process of printing. All right, let's see. Kinship connections. Can you recommend anyone or repair any DTF companies, repair companies? Can you guys, Kinship, where are you located? Because maybe somebody in the chat can give you some direction. Where are you located? I would say that I know somebody, but I don't. I repair my own printers. So I don't know. And I'm in South Florida. So I don't know anybody down here that would do it. But around, there's a lot of people in the craft community that, could maybe give us an idea. Yeah. All right, let me add. Okay. Let me switch over. Okay, so this is the printer. I'm gonna make me a little bit smaller. I was going to. Okay, so Kinship is in Maryland and she has an L1800. So if you guys know anybody in Maryland that repairs DTF printers, please let us know. This one is the L800, this printer, and I didn't take the plastic off. All right, so this is the new printer that they have. And this one has the roll feeder, so the paper just stays on the roll. It is powered on, but anytime before I get ready to use it, and even though I know that it does the print head cleaning, the automatic print head cleanings, and it keeps that ink circulating, I still like to do a print head cleaning before I actually print something out. Oh, to purchase transfer. I have Naomi Florida DTF. It should be listed in the description. I do have the link for Florida DTF printing because it's definitely the powder is what gives the fumes. Okay, so you always want to make sure you're doing it in a ventilated area. Even though it says that it has a filter and all that stuff, not that I don't trust it, but I don't. So I still like to make sure it's in a ventilated area or you have your respiratory mask. So the paper, I just push the paper back. You can kind of, bring it forward or push it back. And then in order for us to do a print head cleaning, all I have to do is hold this down. And then once I hold it down for a few seconds, it's going to start moving about. So it's going to do a print head cleaning. This is the waste tank. And so the waste tank is something that you have to monitor. And what I like with this printer is that you can see here just how far so that you'll know when you need to replace that. And you guys see that wasted ink is going into the tank now. There was the dual head, yes. Thanks, Barb. Now it's just cleaning. And then we're going to get a design and we're just going to print something out really quick so you guys can see it. And maybe I should turn the oven on. But so with this printer, you needed to have like the funnels to go into the past printers that I have from Pro Color. The ink tanks are a lot larger. And so you could literally just pour the ink in. But for these, you definitely need the funnel. You need a funnel to get the ink inside. It's still going. The light is blinking, so it's still cleaning. Y'all can't even hear it. It's not even a noisy printer. It's not a noisy printer. Yep. All right, and so now with this, all you do is pour your ink in here, and then you have your ink. This is your automatic ink extraction. And so this literally sent all of the ink through the tubes. And what I like about this printer now, it's almost kind of similar to like a regular printer. We'll look inside a little bit. It's almost similar to a regular printer because before with the other printers, like my other printers, the ink tubes are enclosed in like another contraption and it's just really hard. You can't really see the ink tanks or the ink tubes and how that ink is flowing through. Well, here you can actually see that there's no break in the ink. So I like that because that would tell you if something is wrong. If we had a break in the ink, then I would know, okay, something's going on, ink isn't flowing through correctly, and then I could go ahead and maybe do another print head cleaning or maybe try to extract some of that ink. Okay, but for this one, I didn't have to. Before, we would have to remove the cartridges and place them back in, extract the ink out, and do all that stuff. We did not have to do that with this printer, and that's what I like. But I do like that we can see the tubes, and for me, this is important, and I do like this setup of it. All right, so I'm gonna move on. I think we have our white ink. We have all the ink over here. And if you guys look, this is important. With any DTF printer you have, the layout of how you have the ink is important. Some printers, the layout is different. This is the layout for this particular printer, and also the drivers that's set up for this printer to use with the RIP software. So it looks pretty good. All right, so this is the printer. Very, very small, very, it's sitting right here on my desk where I usually do my blinging. It's right on my desk, right where I do my bling. That's how compact this one is. The L1800 probably is a little bit wider, but this is fine. And then also you need to keep the inside. There is like a heating element here where this stays at about 40 to 45 degrees. You can change it, and it may depend on your climate, but mine stays at 40 to 45 degrees. All right, so we're gonna get ready. We're gonna leave from here, and then you guys will get a chance to see like how the DTF, how it actually works. All right, let me remove this screen. I'm gonna bring my other mouse pad. I keep forgetting. Maryland, I love this one. Well, I've loved all of my Pro Color DTF printers, but I love the ease of this one. The upgrades, there's so many upgrades to the printer. Just the circulation system alone has been upgraded. Like it's so far. Y'all know what I like to say. Like I need to have something for a little bit of time before I can really, really tell you all of, the nitty gritty. But just the whole setup was a lot easier than the other ones. The outcome, so much easier. I didn't even change anything in the RIP software. Like it just printed out, as it should. So I'm going to add this screen because we're going to look at, I thought I was doing the screen sharing, but maybe not. Remove page. Okay, there we go. All right. So we're going to just go up here. We're going to pull something from Creative Fabrica, and then we're going to head into the RIP software. All right. So remember, like I said, with DTF, you have to have a RIP software. No matter what you're doing, you have to have a RIP software because with DTF, you're printing white. You're doing something that your computer and honestly, the printer isn't really set up for. Okay. So I think a lot of these companies use like a lot of Epson material or components to their printers because a lot of times when I get printers and things, I see a lot of Epson reference. Okay, and I do know like a lot of Epson printers before DTF became like what it is now. I saw a lot of Epson printers that were being converted in order to be used this way. Okay, so we're just gonna try to find us some. Oh, it's super quiet. Love personalization. I love the Pro Color RIP software. That's what we're gonna be using. I love the Pro Color RIP software. I do. All right, so let's decide. Let's see what we're going to use. I don't really have anything specific that I want to use. But what's coming up, y'all? I don't know. Birthday. I don't know. I was trying to find something very quick. Let's see what we gotta do. Let's see some popular. Oh, look at that one. That's so cute with the little bunnies. Something popular this week. So let me just. I'll wait. So hold on. So you guys see how we went here and this says this is popular this week. So that means that these are a lot of different files or images that other people like, right? So just because you see one person use it doesn't mean that other people cannot use these. Oh, look how cute she is. We're going to do this one because one, I love bubblegum, and two, I love pink. We're going to do this one. All right, we're just going to print out a little, I can't even put that on my jacket. All right, so we're going to download this. Look how cute she is. Y'all don't judge me. All right, let me open the file. All right, I think it's good. All right, let's see if I can open it now. Sometimes on this computer, I have to move it to the documents folder in order for me to be able to use the image, but we'll see. We will see. We will see. All right. Version of the software that we want on a Mac without an emulator. Yeah, me too. And that's another thing too. Thanks for bringing that up, Greg. So most RIP softwares, I don't know if, so on my computer, on the desktop, you guys probably didn't see, I have another RIP software called Vivid RIP. And I think that one I can use on my Mac. I've never tried to use it on the Mac, but I think I can. That's the one that I use with my white toner printer. It's called Vivid RIP, and that one's from Racoma. So I don't know, but there aren't many that you can use in many RIP softwares that you can use on a MacBook. So that's another expense. So remember when I was talking about that $85.50 and how converting it, how those prices add up? Now you're spending $400 to $800 for the RIP software. Then you're going to need to make sure you get a PC if you don't already have a PC, right? And hopefully you're not going to, don't get one of those Chromebooks. You need a true printer, a true computer, a true laptop. Okay. So it does add up. It does. All right. So now we're going to add our image to the RIP software. And again, this is the Pro Color RIP software. Let's see. Is that, no, that's not it. I am going to have to go back. It didn't save my documents. Hold on. Let me go back to it. All right. Let me save it here. All right. So we're going to go back. Let me grab it. All right, so here we go. Hey, everybody just coming in. Kristen, that's what I'm talking about. She's so cute, isn't she? I love her. Yep. Nope, not even. It's true. Hey, iconic touch. So true. So I'm going to go ahead. So remember, this is not a design program. This software is for you to be able to, it's just a portal. It's to get you to your DTF printer. Okay. However, they have made quite a few changes, which I like with this software. There used to be a lot of other things that you used to have to do in order to print using RIP software, especially with the Pro Color. Now it's not as complicated as it used to be. And I love that for them. And I love it for me mostly, but I love that for them because it was a headache. All right. So right now, this particular little bunny came in kind of true to size. Let's make her a little bit smaller. I'm just going to resize her a little bit. Now, remember, this particular printer and the K13 has a roller feed. So I'm just making it larger, the screen larger so we can see it. Yo, I love this little bunny. I'm really going to put her on a shirt. So what size is this now? Right now, you can see down here at the bottom, we can see that this is about a little over 3 3/4 of an inch. We can change the size if we want to make it 3 3/4 exactly. And then it automatically changes the size. But there's different things that you can do in the software. Another thing that we could do is we could create our own gang sheets directly here. Okay, so you guys know, like some companies, they want you to create, they don't want you to, but if you don't have the software to do it, you can create your gang sheets on their websites when you're printing transfers, or you can create it in like Silhouette Studio, Adobe Illustrator, Canva. There's different places where you can create your gang sheets. But if I select this grid icon here, it has like auto layout. I'll just tell them what I want. So let's say if I want 2 columns and 4 rows. If I do that and I click OK, it automatically sets everything up for me on the sheet. Okay, and I think that this looks really good. And if you look, it's not even wasting much of the space around. Okay, we're not going to do that many because we don't really need that many. I might do 2. And I really don't even need to do 2 of them. But we'll print out. We'll print it out. All right, so I'm just deleting, but that's one thing that you can do. Also, this is an 8 by 8-inch wide printer. So I showed in the video that I did the other day how I rotated the design in order for the design, so I could get it wider for like a medium shirt or a large shirt. You can make it as wide as possible. But let's say you want to, your design, you have a 3X shirt and, it's just not going to fit. They do have where you can split, you can cut the picture. So that just means that you would have to piece it together when pressing. If y'all want to see us do something like that, I'm not going to do it tonight because I'm starting to get a little bit tired. We can do that another night where we get a large, super large image for a larger shirt. Maybe and honestly, maybe that's going to be like a 3XL shirt. And we can split the design and then press it that way. And we can see that. She's really, really cute. I'll send you one, Miss Evelyn Warner. UV printer. Yeah, I do have a UV printer, Barb. I do. I have a Pro Color UV printer, and I want another one. I have a UV printer, and I also have a UV DTF printer. If you guys were here on Tuesday night, I think I was in the other craft room Tuesday night working on Brody, my baby UV printer. She's not a baby. She's the dual head UV printer. I was over there being good and quiet. She was behaving. All right, so this is where you would go if you wanted to cut your printer or cut your image here. But we'll do this another time because yeah. All right, so I'll print 4 and then I'll print. Do I want to make another one? I don't know. Let's see. Because this is going to be pretty small. These are only 3 3/4. So let's say if I want to kind of maybe make this one a little bit larger, I can. Let's see how large. So that's she's going to be about 6. Let's make her a little bit bigger. We're going to make her a little bit bigger and see how big that's going to be. Okay. So she's about 7 3/4, a little bit over 3/4. So UV DTF, so there's a difference. So DTF is direct to film. You need heat to apply those prints. So you have to add adhesive on the back of DTF prints. Okay, DTF, those are more so stickers, right? Permanent stickers, but they're more so stickers. Okay, so that's the difference. So you don't have to apply one. You need heat. DTF, you need heat. UV DTF, you don't need heat. If y'all want to look at UV DTF, I'll show that another night. But that's the difference between DTF and UV DTF. UV DTF, you kind of have to treat the ink even more special because that ink cannot be exposed to any sunlight. So I don't even have my UV DTF printer in the sun near a window, nothing like that, because your ink will harden on you. Okay, and you don't have to replace the whole thing at that point. Yes. Oh, it could be a fun pocket image. Yes. Okay, so now we're going to get ready to print. And in order to print, you have the option over here on the side to kind of change, the settings of your print. We're not doing that tonight. I haven't even did anything with this printer. With my other one, I have, but with this one, I'm just going to print it out just like this, okay? Next thing we're going to do is we're going to select Rip up here. And after you select Rip, you'll get, more details just to make sure we're printing from the right place, especially when you use multiple printers like me. You can change certain things. It's automatically mirrored, but if you don't need to mirror, like with UV printing, not UV DTF, UV printing is different from UV DTF too. I don't want to confuse y'all, but with UV printing, a lot of times I don't need to mirror it. Most of the times I don't need to mirror it. So yeah, exact. Thank you, ATB Marketing. With UV DTF, you're not using any of that powder. You're gonna be, there's a special adhesive sticky film that it prints onto, and yeah, you don't need it. So no heat is required for UV DTF. All right, so we're good. We're gonna go ahead and we're going to select print. It's not gonna start printing just yet. It's ripping the design. Now, when you're working in the rip software, if your image is going beyond the border, and if you have like an image that has like extra white space around it and it's going beyond the page, it's not gonna print. You're gonna get errors. So you do have to crop your image to size. So right now it's just ripping it to prepare it to go to print. I didn't do a nozzle check. But we're gonna go with it. We're gonna see how it's gonna look. I should have did a nozzle check after I did that print head cleaning, but it should be fine. We're gonna be good to go. I'm not worried about it. All right, so it's done processing, and the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do a right click, and then I'm gonna go to print. Now you can do all of that in once. You can do rip and print at the same time. I usually do rip and then I press manually do the print because I usually have to make sure everything is okay before I do that. So that's why I do that. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add the printer back. And we're going to I'm going to remove the screen for now, okay? And then we're going to see how this is going to print and see how long it takes to print. It's Yolanda Patrice here. Hey, it's Yolanda Patrice. She sent me those eyes tonight. Like, where are you? All right, so I'm going to press print like how I showed you guys I was about to do. And hopefully you guys will be able to see it printing out. All right, so it's going to start now. Start printing now. What time is it? 9:13. And we'll see how long it takes to print. I'm telling you guys, for those of you who are looking for transfer like to get a print, your goal can't be to get a printer just to start a transfer company if you're just getting one printer. You need more than one, in my opinion. All right, we're going to see. Hey, Rondrea. Did anybody ever find a DTF repair shop in Maryland? Right? That white ink looks so good, y'all. Now, the only thing, like this one comes with a cutting board, but you do want to make sure that it's not in the way of the film coming out. And then also, this type of setup works really good with one of the shaker and oven combos, just because like as it's going, you can keep printing and then it'll shake it for you and it'll cure it in the oven. But if you're doing, prints like this, 1 or 2 prints, then it's not too major. Look at that. Does anybody have any questions? I mean, we kind of covered everything that I kind of set out to cover. Like, what is DTF? We talked about transfers and how DTF printing, like the printers, might not be for you, and that is okay, right? That's fine. So, but you still have the option for transfers. Wash updates, we had really good, like I have more DTF shirts. They look great. They look great. We talked about the printers a little bit, the 8550, in my opinion about the 8550, especially now that there's more options available. So this is one thing that with the roller, I meant to push it back a little bit more because I don't like wasting any of the film. I don't like wasting the film. So I usually push it back even more, but it's fine. I think this is going to be so cute, Kristen. And I'm going to put it on my pocket, like Kristen suggested. I think that's going to be cute. Do y'all want to press this? Or no? Do you want to press it or no? Edie, I saw another cupcake, crochet cupcake. Super cute. They did it with the bulky yarn too. It's super cute. All right, I'm gonna put this over here, y'all, because I don't. Let's see if you guys want to do a. If y'all want to press, I gotta find a shirt to press my little bunny. I'll go back and put some HTV on top of it. Now you can use DTF with like HTV, but the same rules apply when layering it. The same rules apply when layering it. Okay, we can press it. It's not. It shouldn't take us too long to do it. It looks good. Let me turn on the. And then I'll turn on the heat press. Hopefully, I got too much stuff going on right now back here. Let's see if I'll go with Felix tonight. Let's see. It's possible your girl may go confused. All right. So it's going to heat up to the temperature. I think I have it at 275 degrees or 300 degrees, something, but it's the oven. I turned the curing oven on for us, and we're just going to do a little bit of powdering. And again, we want to practice safety first, right? When we're powdering and things like that. So we have our mask. I do recommend this mask. I do. I absolutely recommend it. I'm not going to really put it on like how. I'm not going to strap it around my head, but I do recommend it. And the gloves. Definitely the gloves. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Kelly, I love gum too. Hey, Karen Murray, the white is whiting. It is. It is. It's doing the job. But that's why you have to do like your print head cleanings. Like this system, I'll be able to tell you guys in a few months. I do plan on still doing my print head cleanings daily or every other day where I just manually do it, the manual print head cleaning. But as long as you keep it plugged in and turned on, it's going to do the automatic ink circulation. It's going to do the automatic cleanings. So it shouldn't be a problem, right? But I do, like when I talk to them, they still do recommend doing it. Like they still do recommend doing the manual ones too. And you can't go wrong doing it, really. Marilyn is so funny. Marilyn is so funny, y'all. I can't even tell y'all just how funny she is. She's just hilarious. Did Miss Sandra say that there's a new 2020 tonight? I'm about to go. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to watch it. I'm gonna turn it on, but y'all, this little bunny is so cute. Evelyn Warner, if you want me to send you one of these, oh, she's so cute. I think I'm gonna use her for sublimation too. Send me your address, Evelyn Warner. I'll send you these two. I'll send you two of them. I don't know what you're gonna do with these little small bunnies, but you could do something with it. Maybe I'll put this bunny on a bag, the one that I printed here. Maryland's a hot mess, Diane. A hot one. Wait until y'all see this bunny. This bunny is so cute. Here's the way. Okay, you guys can see the waist tank. I'm gonna bring her over a little bit. So this is the waist tank, and then there's like and what I love, they have an opening where you can actually see how much is in the bottle, and then all I have to do is pour that ink out. Now, in the past, I hated the waste tank. It used to sit in the back of the printer, not in the back here. Like there was an extra slot in the back, and then on my A3, I call it the A3. But on the Pro Dual Head, it sits on the side and protrudes off the side. So it's just like I didn't like that about those. But the way that they have this set up like this with it on the inside, oh my goodness, perfect. All right, so I'm just going to wheel this out some. And I need to make sure, because I have clipped it before, clipped the design. We're just going to cut it. Y'all, all right, we're done. I just left it open for us. I'll close it in a minute. All right. Let's remove from stage our printer. Y'all, look how cute. The ink is wet. The ink is still wet. So when you print DTF prints like that, the ink is wet. Look at her. Is she not the cutest little bunny? She is so cute. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of powdering, okay? And so with the powdering, we're going to put on our mask. Hold on, let me sit down. I don't want to mess this up. I don't want to touch nothing. I'm going to put, I was going to try to put this on without putting it over my head. I have no choice. And then we're going to put on gloves. Now with the oven and the shaker combo, you don't have to do this because you pour a whole bunch of powder into the oven shaker, but you still need to have gloves on when you're using that, when you're putting the powder in. But once it comes out cured, you're fine. But you may still want to have the mask or be in a ventilated area or have your air filters on in your room. All right, so the next thing we're going to do, this is the powder. And then I am just going to, actually, I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut right here. All right. And I'm just going to take this. I usually just put a little bit. And then you coat it. And after coating, all right. And then I'm going to put her like this. All right. So after that, we're going to put it into the oven, into the curing oven over here. We'll put both of them in there. Oh. Before I do that, so you guys can see, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's just like powder. It's just very, very powdery on the back. Just the powder. It's still heating up. All right, so it still has to heat up. It's not heated all the way up, but I still put it in there just because it's, it's gonna be time. But you do want to make sure, and you need to change out filters in your respiratory mask too. But you do want to make sure that even when you're doing this, like you still can keep your mask on, because even though it has a filter, or you want to do it in a ventilated area, even though it has a filter, those fumes are still going to be coming, coming up and out. So you do want to make sure that you're protecting yourself. Hey, Tuck. And safety glasses, yes. Yep. And safety glasses. Absolutely true, Barb. Absolutely true. Miss Jazzy Charles is a respiratory mask. I use this mask when I'm working with epoxy too. When I'm working with epoxy, when I'm working with my laser, like certain fumes with the laser, I use this too. Did I miss something? Yes. Uh-oh. I knew that was going to happen. Hold on, y'all. I knew it was coming. We're almost ready to press start. Now, this one has a timer on it, but it has a timer. Let me see if I can start. No, it's still going. Even though I have the timer, it may still, it's going to cure it. It's probably almost done curing it. I open the window with the even with the sublimation oven too. That's true. Oh, let me show you my jacket before I actually take those out, because we're not even gonna have to turn the timer on because I put them in early. So remember that patch that I showed y'all? I put it on this jean jacket. Eventually, I'm gonna give this jean jacket away. And then I made this one in one of the videos. It's like a faux Chanel type of patch. It just says crafty on it, and I put that on there too. It's pretty large, but it looks good. I love it. We have prayer changes everything, or changes things, and then we have the back of So Good. So I gotta put more patches on here. So I'm gonna put some more, but I think I'm gonna go with like larger patches, not the smaller ones, to go on here. They'll just go everywhere. Got my fanny. I already put it on. Y'all just didn't see me do it. Thank you guys. No worries, Naomi. Hey, Jermaine. All right. I hear the filter over here going, but once it starts timing, the filter will go. So once it starts the whole curing process, the filter will start. We're almost done, y'all. Let me get a shirt. Oh, I said I'm gonna put her in the bag, right? I'm gonna put her in the bag. I think we want to put her on the bag. If I can find a bag. I have a bag. Well, where does it go? I don't know. I had a bag, y'all. Where did my bag go? I may end up just putting her on the shirt. Wow. thought I had a bag. I thought I had a bag, but I don't have a bag. I thought I did. I was gonna put it on the black bag, but I don't know where it's at. Janie, we did. So the book is gonna be The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie. I already have the book downloaded. It's gonna be The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie. That's what it's gonna be. It is very quiet. The printer's quiet. The oven's quiet. Good night, Naomi. Yep. True. So if I was feeling better, we would really be able to do what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to make like some small patches with the DTF printer, but I was gonna put the patches, like I was gonna put the prints on felt, and like we could either do like have a satin edge around it where we print it out with the satin edge, like we do a satin edge and then press it onto the patch, or just cut around the actual design itself but have it on felt. Like that's what originally I wanted to do tonight, to make some patches like that, but it's not gonna happen. I'm happy that I've lasted this long. See, y'all give me good energy. Thanks, Jamie. Piece together these prints like you can, so make your prints. Yes. So this is ready now. It's probably been ready, so you do need gloves for this. But if you're like me, so I recommend having heat gloves because the plate is hot, but I don't know why I could do stuff like that and it doesn't burn me or bother me. But I do recommend heat gloves. I do have my heat gloves over here for somebody gonna tell me, Patrice, where's your heat gloves? They are right here. I have heat gloves all over, but I just do stupid things like that all the time. And so once it's done, the air filter turns off. But the air filter also has like this is the air filter, and it does need to be changed out often. That's the other thing. All right, so what else? Okay, we're gonna get ready to press. So now, if you guys look at the back, y'all see how that looks now. That's it fully cured, and this is the front. She's so cute. That's the back. And then we have, then this is the one I'm just gonna put. I really kind of want to put her on a bag. Let me see if I can find my other bag. I don't really want, because she's not, for my shirt, she's not big enough for me. Like I'm gonna have to put some other stuff on it. Let me see. Might as well. I'll just put it on this shirt. Why not? I'm not gonna stress y'all out about that. Felicia on chapter 3. All right, we're done. We're gonna go ahead and I'm just closing down the printer. And I do like that it's small enough to fit onto the desk. Now, am I between the K8 and the K13? Do I recommend getting the K13? Yes. But do I recommend getting what you can get on your budget? Yes. But also with this one, with their software, you can change the you can do the cut. Like you can split the design to cut it, kind of like how you would do when you're tiling for sublimation. I want to do it first so I could see it and let y'all know if I like it or not. I don't want, so maybe that's something that I'll work on when I start to feel a little bit better. Just to tile it in their new software. It's not really new software. All right, we're just going to press this one little print with our little Easter bunny. Or her little piece of gum. She's so cute. She's so cute. All right. Also, when you're curing, the powder is what matters. So whoever you get your powder from, they will tell you how long you should put your powder or your design in to be cured and that sort of thing. It'll also tell you their recommended times for pressing your images. Okay. The curing the powder is what really matters the most as far as pressing it and all of that. Okay. So I'm just gonna put this right here. I'm probably gonna add something to her later. Oh, she's y'all, she is so cute. Just because one person does it, you could use this image too. It's one of the more popular ones on Creative Fabrica. That's what Creative Fabrica said. I love that little button. Listening to the locked door. The locked door may have to be next for everyone. So Kristen, you got to remember it. But the Widow's Husband, I'm gonna start listening to it tonight. Awesome, Barb. All right, so I pressed this for 325 degrees for 25 seconds, and we're gonna take her off and see. So she went for 325 for 25 seconds. We're going to let her cool off a little bit, and then we're going to peel it, and then we're going to do the second press. Oh, let me find a piece of parchment paper. I didn't even plan to press. Hold on, y'all. Let me see if I can find some parchment paper really quick. I usually stash this type of stuff all over the place. Yep, I found. Nope, I didn't find. I thought I did. Okay, I found. I found. All right. Okay, y'all. It's been fun. This is our last bit. Anybody had any more questions or anything else, any other concerns regarding DTF printing? DTF printing does not have, like, you don't have to do DTF printing. You can get transfers. Is it convenient that I have my DTF printers? Yes. Remember, getting a DTF printer doesn't mean me getting this K8. I can't print transfers. I didn't even check to see what time. I'm going to have to go back and look back and see what time I finished printing. So then I'll know how long it took to print this. Because I don't even remember. I didn't look at the time. I know we started at like 9:12 or 9:13 printing. So I got to go and check. Hey, Miss Deborah Browning. I haven't tried the T-Seal, and I keep saying that I'm going to try it, Greg. I haven't tried it, but I keep saying that I'm going to try it, and I keep forgetting. I need to try it. Because I've heard good things about T-Seal. I think Barb uses T-Seal too. Barb, is that one that you use T-Seal? Yeah. All right, so now it should have cooled down. And so once it cools down, some of the film, you can peel it hot. Some of it, you can peel it cold. I generally like for it to cool down. So as I'm doing this, if I have a lot of orders to do or a lot of shirts to do, I'll press and then put that to the side to let that cool down. And then I'll just keep working and then eventually rotate back once it's all cooled off. Or what you could do is if you have two heat presses, you can set up both heat presses and then you can go ahead and start pressing and cool. My grandma helps me sometimes. I could do stuff like that where I'll press it and then, go to the other heat press and then press it while it's cooling. That does reduce the amount of time that you'll spend pressing. Okay. But it's just up to you of what you like to do. Yeah, so with the printer, with the DTF printers from ProColored, you get your first set of ink, white ink, all the colors. You get ink protection or nozzle protection liquid that you use to place underneath your nozzle to help prevent any clogs, especially if you're going to be gone for an extended amount of time. You get all the extra things that you may need if something goes wrong to help you troubleshoot it. And you get the RIP software also. You get the RIP software. This is already cool. So now I'm just going to peel this off. And we're done peeling. And so the first initial feel of the transfer on your shirt is very, very slick. Like it's very, very smooth. Like you go ice skating on it. That's how like it's very, very slick. Okay. Now you do need to press it again. It needs one more press. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if you guys can kind of see up close and personal, but it's just, this is literally on top of it. Okay. It's literally on top of it. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the second press. And with the second press, I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper. Parchment paper, your print isn't going to stick to the parchment paper. If you use butcher paper, it's possible that your print will stick to the butcher paper. Okay, so you want to be careful with that. So I always just use parchment paper or what's that little brown cheese called? Teflon. Teflon. So I'm going to put this back under. We're going to press this one more time. I'm going to put the parchment paper on top. And we're going to press it. And here we just need to press this for about 10 seconds. It's that long. It doesn't really even need to be that long, but we're going to press it for like 10 seconds to see. Just for 10 seconds. Went over a little bit, but it's fine. We're going to turn this off. So what that does is that helps to make the design really like blend in with the shirt a lot more. As y'all know, sublimation, that ink becomes a part of the shirt. With DTF, that design is literally still sitting on top of the shirt because it's kind of very similar to vinyl. But for the most part, yo, look how that looks. That looks so good. That looks so good. Look at that. Very, very nice. Yeah. Looks so good. I love her. I'm going to add something to this shirt. This is just going to be my shirt. But it came out really, really good. These were the smaller ones that I did. And Kristen had a good idea as far as like putting, it can go on like a pocket tee. And she could go on a pocket. That would be super duper cute. Super duper cute. She's so cute. Like whoever made this, thank you for making her. She looks cute. She looks really cute. All right, so anybody have any other questions or concerns or comments? Thank you, her grandbaby. Oh, she's gonna love it because she's just so cute. Any other questions or anything? Let me know. Yeah, we're pretty much done for tonight, y'all. If you guys want to do more DTF things too, let me know. I may try to do one with the UV DTF printer soon. But if you want more but I kind of feel I did one of these I used to do a lot of DTF on Sundays, but I think I went over stuff like this before, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago. But just know that with DTF, you want to make sure you're following all the safety precautions, listening to them, just doing that, researching. You don't have to get a DTF printer. You can get transfers. Let somebody else deal with the maintenance. No matter how many times people tell you that you won't have to do any maintenance on a DTF printer, you're going to have to, and that's the one thing most people know, that's something that deter people away from getting DTF printers is the maintenance. So now they'll say, oh, very little maintenance, little to no maintenance. Don't fall for it. Just go in knowing that you're going to have to perform some sort of maintenance on your machines. Okay. Can you layer anything on DTF like glitter? No, you cannot layer anything on DTF. Definitely not rhinestones. You don't want to layer any rhinestones on DTF. Even vinyls, certain vinyls, you may not want to layer on DTF because it's still kind of like a vinyl. It's still very much like a vinyl. It just has, it's ink with adhesive powder on it. So it's a little bit thinner. It's a lot thinner than vinyl, but still pretty much like it. Thanks, Barb. Film or ink different too? Yes, so UV DTF ink is also different. So UV DTF printing and ink, that's using ink that needs to be cured by UV rays, or it can be cured by sunlight. So if you set that bottle of ink, so generally the UV DTF ink comes in like a black out bottle, like very dark, to avoid any light getting into that bottle. But yeah, it can only be cured via UV light. So that's the difference. Another difference of like UV printers and UV DTF printers. UV printers, there's no adhesive on it, so you're printing directly onto something with UV ink. And then with the UV DTF, you're creating stickers. So you're gonna have your white layer in the back, but you're also gonna have like a sticker. It's gonna be sticky on the back. Thank you, Tucky. What's wrong, Kevin? What did Kevin say? After pressing, Kevin, how does, after pressing, it feels, so the second press, it feels really good. It's not as slick and like plastic feeling. The first print, like when you first press it, maybe kind of plastic, very, very like sleek. The second press, it starts to feel a little bit more like you can start to feel the fibers, kind of. You don't feel the fibers, but you feel like the texture kind of underneath a little bit of the shirt. So that's the difference in that second press. And you can kind of see the texture of the shirt coming through that print. But y'all, it looks so good. She looks so cute. She really looks cute. She looks so cute. All right, so if you're over on Patrice L with us, before I get off, because I don't know, I got to see what the lot, if we're going to do, we may have to do So Good Sunday, because I'm going to get back into bed. So we're reading The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie by Frida McFadden. And so we're reading that, and we're going to read, I guess, the first few chapters. I'll put something in the community post over on Patrice L to see when we could discuss the first few chapters of it, and then we'll move on to the next chapters, and then we'll get another book to read, maybe one from the list that we already had. Whew, but that's the plan, y'all. I'm tired. It's been fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave any questions below. I am going to tell y'all, I do not repair anybody else's printers. One, I don't want to be liable for telling anybody to do something and it goes wrong. So that's a whole another issue for me too, because, you know, I kind of just go with how I feel with things, or if I see something. That's why I like how the new printer is, where you could see the tubes and everything. Like, that makes sense. Now I don't have to open up 1,000 different places to get to where I need to go. So Rondrea the bunny came from Creative Fabrica. We went in like during the live, I went on Creative Fabrica and literally just went to their homepage, and they had, or PNGs, and they have popular PNGs this week, and she's very popular this week. So I just used her. So yeah. All right, guys, it's been fun. I love you guys. I do want you to remember to please be kind to each other. Please be nice. Please extend grace to others. Sometimes people just don't know better, you know, and we often expect us from other people, right? And we have to remember that people are different. People's backgrounds are different. Everything is different. And just because we do something a certain way and we think, okay, this is the way that it's supposed to be, guess what? Our way may not be the right way. Their way might be the correct way, right? But we're just used to doing it our way, and it works for us. So please extend grace to other people. Be kind. Don't forget, if you see somebody out, and if somebody speaks to you, speak back. But it doesn't hurt for you to speak to somebody and extend a smile. I often tell y'all that, you know, sometimes that may be the only social interaction that that person has had for that day or that week or that month. Our chat is a prime example. Some of us may live alone. Some of us may not have much family around. Some of us may have lost some family. And when we come to the chat, I always find the chat to be a very welcoming and loving place. And I find that y'all meet the mark every single live. Because some people come here for their social interaction. And I want it to be positive and I want them to have a great time while they're here. For all of those of you in the bushes, hey y'all, I didn't say y'all in a few lives, but I love y'all. Thank you for being in the bushes. I know we put a lot of attention on everybody who's in the chat, but I appreciate all of you guys who are in the bushes. And for those of you who don't know what the bushes means, that's anybody who doesn't come out of the chat. Anybody who just kind of stays in the background, and I understand that's a comforting place to be for some of us, and I respect that. I do want to thank you guys for being here too and watching this content. I love you guys. I'm about to go get back in the bed. Hopefully I'll see you guys on Sunday for So Good. I'm hoping that I feel good. If not, Zamanda may be doing so good by her solo self. Later, y'all.